When I first met Alina, I thought I had found a woman who would walk beside me for life. We met during our university years. She was studying design and I was studying business. Her laughter, her dreams, her fierce independence drew me in like a magnet. We started dating. And soon I found myself rearranging my life to fit hers. I helped her with her projects, drove her to late-night classes, and supported her whenever she doubted herself. Love, I thought, was about sacrifice. After graduation, I started working long hours to build a future for us. Alina struggled to find stable work, so I told her not to worry. I would take care of the bills until she found her footing. Months turned into years, and my paycheck became our lifeline. She wanted a bigger apartment, nicer clothes, weekend trips, and I tried my best to provide them all. I believed she deserved the world, even if it meant putting my own dreams on hold. But something changed after she got her dream job at a creative agency. At first, I was happy for her. She had finally found her independence. But soon, her tone toward me began to shift. She started coming home late, often too tired to talk. She criticized how I dressed, how I worked, and even how I spoke. The woman who once looked at me with admiration now looked at me with irritation. One evening, I planned a small dinner to celebrate her first big project. I cooked her favorite meal and waited. She arrived 2 hours late, not apologetic, but annoyed. When I asked what was wrong, she sighed and said, "You wouldn't understand. You don't live in my world anymore." Her words stung. I realized then that the emotional distance between us had grown too wide to ignore. Over the next few weeks, we barely spoke. She started staying out with her colleagues more often, and when I asked if everything was okay, she simply shrugged. Then one night, as we sat at the dinner table in silence, I asked her directly, "Alina, do you still want this? Do you still want us?" She didn't hesitate. She looked me straight in the eyes and said, "I don't want to be with you." Her words hit me harder than I could have imagined. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Everything I had done, all the late nights, the sacrifices, the quiet moments of faith, crumbled in that instant. I asked her calmly, "So, what do you expect from me now?" She said coldly, "You can still help me financially until I move out. I'm not stable yet." That's when something inside me hardened. I looked at her and said quietly, "If my place in your heart is gone, then my wallet closes too. You can't reject love and still expect support." She froze, maybe surprised I finally drew a line. For once, she didn't have anything clever to say. The next few days were tense. She packed her things slowly, perhaps waiting for me to change my mind. But I didn't. I had spent years giving without limits, thinking love would grow from generosity. But love without respect isn't love. It's dependence wearing a disguise. When she finally left, the apartment felt heavy but peaceful. I won't lie, it wasn't easy. The silence was painful, and the empty chair at the breakfast table unbearable at times. But I also started rediscovering myself. I began reading again, going out with old friends, and finally pursuing the business idea I had postponed for years. Each small step reminded me that my worth wasn't tied to someone else's approval. Months later, I heard she was struggling. Her new job hadn't worked out, and she'd moved back in with her family. Part of me wanted to reach out, but I stopped myself, not out of anger, but because I knew helping her again would only trap both of us in the same cycle. She needed to stand on her own, just as I finally had. Looking back, I realized that love can't be built on pity or one-sided effort. It needs balance, both people lifting each other, not one always carrying the weight. I had learned that hard truth through heartbreak, but it made me stronger, wiser, and more aware of my boundaries. A year later, I met someone new. She didn't need my money or my protection, only my honesty and time. We built something steady, not out of dependence, but understanding. And for the first time, I felt truly free to love without fear of being used. Sometimes I still think of Alina, not with anger, but with gratitude. She taught me that self-respect matters more than blind loyalty. When I told her, "Then don't expect my support," I wasn't being cruel. I was finally choosing myself, and that choice changed everything.